Hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina and today I want to share with you my secrets to creating an expensive designer look with your IKEA stuff, with all the IKEA things that you might have in your home, or you may after this video want to go shopping at IKEA. IKEA, that's how we always say it on this channel. In case you are tuning in for the first time, that's how you're supposed to say it. There's something about IKEA. It's affordable, it's accessible, and there's a democracy of design. It's really all about being able to afford a beautiful home, and that is something that we are really into here at the House of Valentina. We run a real estate and design business. We work in the luxury market, but we love to save in our own home and for our clients to save them money. And IKEA is a great place to shop. You would not believe the cool stuff that you can find at IKEA. So I'm gonna be sharing with you today products that I actually own from IKEA, how I style them up in my own home, and I'm gonna be giving you my tips and tricks on how to create a more luxurious, elevated, a little bit more designer look in your own home that will give off an expensive vibe, even though everything today is super affordable. I hope that sounds like fun because I love getting to do this with you guys. I love being able to just empower you to create a beautiful home. And yeah, oh my God. Okay, please tell me you really love this. It's fun, isn't it? I love that a beautiful home is something that everyone gets to have. That is an amazing thing. So make sure you hit subscribe, give the video a big thumbs up if you love saving money and having a beautiful home, and let me know down in the comments which of these is your favorite item. Which one's your favorite tip? We're gonna have a bunch today. Let's jump in. Gotta have a sip first. And off we go. First thing that I think is one of the easiest ways to get a luxurious look is to create a color palette. I think it can be really difficult sometimes if we just try to hodgepodge everything together. But if you create a color palette and one that reads more sophisticated, everything that you have is gonna look way more expensive in your home. So here I've gathered up a few of my favorite pillows. You can see I have a white sofa. This one is not from IKEA, but I will leave a link down below for the sofas that I have purchased from IKEA for my own clients. We've had some in other rooms of the house as well. So yeah, I'll leave links for all of those items for you. And also make sure to check out our IKEA playlist because I actually have done a ton of room makeovers. And as I was going through my house, I realized, wow, I've used a lot of my IKEA stuff and I think I need another trip to IKEA to stock up on some more stuff. But anyways, before I go up on too much of a tangent, when you're thinking about your own home, when you're creating your spaces, think about creating a color palette. I think creating one that's sophisticated, one that is muted in color, tends to read as more expensive. It tends to have a more elevated designer feel to it. That doesn't mean that you can't use color. Here we've got, you know, some rich, deep grays. We've got a little bit of brown. You can see I have a dark lamp. So not everything I have in the space is from IKEA. And that's another little hack that I have. But let's get to that one in just a second. So think about your color palette. Do you want to have a black and white color palette like I do in my home where the colors are really muted? What colors can you make the walls? What colors are you working with your floor? What color does the sofa need to be? And then how are you going to accessorize the space? And IKEA is perfect for these really great basics that'll really dress up your space. One of my designer secrets is to always make sure that I put amazing fillers inside of my cushions. So you can 100% buy the cushion covers at IKEA. This is the Vigdis. It is a 20 by 20 inch cover, and I usually go up a size on the inserts, which sometimes I can do from IKEA. This is one actually from IKEA and it doesn't tell me what size it is. I think this is the 20 by 20. I usually go up a size so that it will overstuff the pillow so that when it gets squished, it's still pretty full. But I will tell you, these still look really good, even with the actual insert that it's a 20 by 20 that's inside of this. It still looks great. It's got that knitting on it. It looks really good. It's nice and full. And when you have that insert in there, you can plump these. The other thing that I love about the covers is that when you have the insert and seasons come and go, you might want to change out what's on the outside of these. These are easy to fold. You only need a couple pillows. So it's a really affordable way of creating a really beautiful designer look in your space. I think another key element is also mixing the textures. So here you can see I've got that gorgeous knitting. I've also got linen. Look at that beautiful linen. It is so soft and so wonderful to sit against. And that's what I think feels luxurious. And you can see how I've really done a lot of tone on tone with the pillows and then added a little bit of this brown color. And I have to tell you guys, I have owned this pillow since before my 13-year-old son was born. So we've had this pillow in our home for a really, really long time. So I think it's pretty amazing. And I wanted to show you this one because not only does it show you that you can mix the textures, you can mix the colors, you can create this palette, but IKEA quality is actually really high, especially for the prices. So yeah, I think you can go crazy, have some fun, get those inserts in there, fluff them, and I like to, you can see me doing it. It's just one of those things that I do. I just kind of fluff the pillow and just kind of give it a tap and a little, you know, just a little fluff. You don't have to karate chop it, you know, like this. It doesn't have to be that violent. I think things just flew out of this. Oh my gosh. Maybe this one is ready for a wash. I don't know. I think some dust came out of it. But yeah, these pillows are amazing. It's a beautiful way of dressing up the sofa that you already have. If you want to shop for sofas, IKEA does sell some really, really nice ones, but you can create this look on a budget, and I think that that is amazing. Okay, next up, one of my favorite things to do is to mix IKEA pieces into what I already own, and I love that mix. So don't feel like you have to shop everything at IKEA. The truth is that even IKEA expects you to add your own personality. In fact, they celebrate that. Years ago, when we first moved into our apartment, when we lived in Copenhagen for 6 years. We were overseas for 12, if you're just tuning in. So when we moved into our first apartment in Copenhagen, we actually got featured in the IKEA Live magazine. And the whole purpose of that magazine was to show how people were incorporating IKEA into their homes and into their real lives. And I've loved that ever since. I thought that was the most amazing thing. So IKEA does not expect you to have every single thing on your coffee table from IKEA. They're excited to see your personality. They're excited to see how you mix things in. So grab some of the accessories that they already have, some inexpensive items, and then maybe you'll have something that's a little bit more expensive or a little bit more high-end, or maybe you'll have some thrifted items and maybe something from your travels. Either way, this is the exciting part, is creating a space that really displays your personality and of course, I think fits your color palette and really fits your aesthetic, and that's the way to get a designer look for less. All right, let's head that way. I wanted to take just a moment and thank our video sponsor for today, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries who come together to find inspiration. I love the fact that Skillshare wants to make the creative life possible for everyone around the world. That is something that we are so passionate about, and we just love that about Skillshare as well. You'll find their classes go from everything from how to plant to how to decorate to how to cook a meal, and they always have the most amazing teachers who come from all different backgrounds. One of many things that I love about Skillshare is that it's so easy. You can access it from wherever you are, whenever you have time. One of the classes that I noticed that really caught my eye was Modern Abstract Expressionism, A Journey in Brushstrokes, Texture, and All the Feels by Peggy Dean from the Pigeon Letters. As you guys know, I love to be able to paint my own artwork, and I've shared a lot on my own channel, but I'm always learning. I'm self-taught, and I am always excited to learn something new, see what somebody is doing, and grab a new skill and be able to make some incredible artwork. And you can save yourself thousands of dollars by creating your own artwork. And so yeah, it's incredible. Skillshare has been so great. They give me a code to get you guys started. First 1,000 people to use the link or my code House of Valentina 0522 will get a month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you again to Skillshare for being today's video sponsor. As you can see, we've got another setting here where I've used artwork, I've used all those tips and tricks. I've got an IKEA lamp sitting here, got the greenery. Yeah, I'm gonna be sharing more tips and tricks with you, so let's head back over here. Another key component to putting together an amazing space from IKEA is making sure that you choose the right pieces. And sometimes that means going outside of where you might find a piece. So originally I was looking at media cabinets, I was looking at some of the lower pieces that they sell at IKEA, but I have a 2-story family room, and that's not really usually where IKEA is as good. They don't have so many bigger pieces that might fit my American house and the way that things are put together. It was perfect for my Scandinavian house when we lived there, but here I've got nice big 2-story ceilings. So you have to think through your space, you have to think through what you really need, and this piece is the Regisaur, and it ended up being the right piece for us. It's a little bit higher, it kind of breaks the mold of what I might have put here. The other thing that I love is that it's not as deep and it keeps our walkway clear, so I make sure to always take my measuring tape with me. I think through my spaces. That's what a designer is going to do for you. If you're gonna hire a designer, your designer is gonna think through what's the best piece and then look wherever they have to throughout the store to find the thing that's gonna really fit. So think through your color palette, think through the storage space that you might need, think through the size and all those different factors that help you to make sure you buy a great piece. The next secret that all designers know is that a room that is well lit will always convey a more designer expensive look to it. So make sure you check out the lighting section at IKEA. It's one of my favorites. I love their lamps. I have this beautiful lamp here, which I know it gets very bright, but it looks bright on camera, but in person it's actually really warm, it's ambient, and you could take the most amazing room in the entire world, and if it's underlit, it's gonna feel dingy and kind of flat. But you can take even the smallest room, it doesn't have all the character and everything, but if you light it and create an ambient mood inside of it, that's gonna feel like $1 million. So definitely check out their lighting. It's really affordable actually. And I think it's amazing. I've been buying their lamps for years and the quality is just so good on them and I love it. I love IKEA lamps. The other way to light up your space and to create ambiance is, of course, check out the candle section. We stock up every single time we go. In fact, if you haven't watched our IKEA playlist, you may want to just go check it out because we were just showing how we got this new fragrance. This is the smoke, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, I can't remember now. It's like a fire smell. It's got like a smoky smell to it. And this was a new fragrance that we hadn't seen. And they smell amazing. I also stock up on their candlesticks because they have amazing prices on these really good basic supplies. So these are the kind of designer secrets that I think a lot of times people think that designing a beautiful space has to cost a fortune, when in fact designers have these little hacks that we do. And it's lighting space, it's helping it to smell good, helping it to feel well lit. All these little things really make a huge difference. The other big thing that I have stopped buying from IKEA is actually a lot of the smaller accessories. Now this is one that I'm able to use in my drawer, and I wish I could actually get another one of them so I could have two. But generally, when I first was kind of getting started, and this was partly because I had such a small home, I would buy little accessories and they'd kind of get lost and you end up needing a lot of them. And if you can buy less, that's always, of course, gonna save you money. So my advice to you is to buy some of the accessories, but try to buy the larger accessories that they have because they do have a lot of little things, and I've stopped buying those unless it's a candle holder because then you can kind of sneak those in. But generally, upsizing is gonna make your space feel bigger even if you have a small space. So think about scaling up and avoiding things that might look a little too small. This is probably not the best example because it's not the smallest accessory that I've bought from there. I used to buy lots of tiny things. It's the tiny ones I say, just don't go with those. You might use one or two if it's something that's really special, maybe tuck it in a drawer. But I find that a lot of times if I bought something too small, it ends up being put away because overall, the general aesthetic is that it's just too many little things and it doesn't feel as sophisticated. So the other thing that you can also do is to actually, and this is free, just declutter your entire space. All of your IKEA items are gonna look more high-end and more expensive if they are in a clutter-free area. And that one is free. And I love it because you might have a lot of stuff in one space and you can take it and use it for another space in your house, or if it's ready to go to a thrift store, just pass it forward to somebody else and bless their lives with it, because I think that having fewer items in your space just feels more sophisticated, especially if they're larger items. The other thing that I like to do is I really like to add books to every room. It's just one of those things that it's one of my own designer preferences, I would call it, but I really think I was about to say it reads expensive. Pun fully intended. I just think that having books makes my IKEA piece feel a lot more elevated. I've got the Architectural Digest book and Alaya, which is a designer fashion brand, and I think that books really elevate the space. And I think artwork as well. I create a lot of my own artwork, and this is how I'm able to take an IKEA cabinet and give it a much higher look to it. And it's just those simple little hacks that I'm doing. And yeah, on my channel, I have some DIY art videos if you're interested in those. I'll leave a link for all those items and all of the videos that I think would be helpful for you as you're putting your space together. It doesn't have to be, I think it's easy. I think that it really is doable, and I hope that this video is empowering you to feel like it's doable in your space as well. What else do I do? Okay, the other thing that I do is I typically do not buy their faux plants. It's one of the things that I typically do not buy. I think that your space will feel a lot more elevated if it has real greenery in it. So usually I'll just skip the faux succulents. I'll skip all that faux greenery. Every now and then, if I'm staging a home or if it's gonna be someone's cabin and they're not gonna be there all the time, I might cave and get some, but generally I'd rather just simply buy their inexpensive little vase sets and fill them with some pretty greenery. I tell my clients all the time, if you're gonna be up at your lake house, just leave the vases empty, and when you arrive, go out into your garden and onto your land and just clip some things that you can put into the vases, because it's gonna feel really, really alive. And again, that's one of those designer secrets. You want the space to feel alive, you want it to feel warm and inviting, and all these little things are all available at IKEA, and I love it so much. A couple other items that I think you should 100% be checking out at IKEA because they're gonna completely elevate your space on a budget are the linens and the soft goods. Check out their soft goods because you can fix your bed with beautiful linens from the bedding section at IKEA. These are ones that I've owned for a couple years. They are so soft, they are so wonderful. I think that the linens at IKEA is one of their best things. As you can tell, I love the pillows, I love the sheets, the duvets. They really are amazing quality, especially for that price tag. It's so wonderful. And you could take those same pillows, add them to your bed, and have a designer look in seconds. And it really is extraordinary what you can do by just simply dressing your bed, dressing the room with a few pillows, a little bit of greenery, a few candles, maybe you DIY your artwork. Even with those IKEA, if you have an IKEA bed, IKEA chair, yep, all of it's gonna suddenly look really, really elevated and so high end. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. The other thing that you should definitely be checking out are the curtains. The other thing is the curtains. Like that's a plural. Okay, I'm having a grammar lesson with myself here, but the main thing to look at are the curtains, because they will really soften your space. They'll give it a very sophisticated feel, and it can actually physically elevate your space if you hang them at the top of the trim in your room. And yeah, so I have a couple. I love their linen-like ones. They've got a couple different options that are really, really good. You can see, I've pulled a palette, haven't I? I've got the gray, I've got the creams, all these different colors. It's so doable to do it from IKEA. Ooh, I guess I could have skipped my workout today. Moving all this stuff around. I think that their rugs at IKEA are, again, one of their best sold items. Sometimes they are not big enough for your space and you can double them up. And I do actually have a full stash of rugs. I love the IKEA rugs. I think they are amazing. The quality is so good. So yeah, this is an extra one, which is gonna be going to a project that is coming up. But I love them. I think they're incredible. I've owned so many IKEA rugs over the years, and I find that they clean easily. The quality themselves is really good. They feel good under your feet. They're just great. And this can really transform your space. You can see how we can build on a room. We've got a beautiful rug. We've chosen some really high quality pieces from what they're offering, and then we're just gonna dress it. We're gonna give it some curtains, we're gonna give it some cushions, we're gonna make it super soft, and we're gonna do it all in an amazing color palette. We're gonna light it, give it some greenery. Yeah, but before you leave the store, make sure you go and check out their blanket section. They have got so many beautiful choices for their blankets. I've given out so many recommendations on my past videos. Definitely go check out that playlist and see, because I love this one, and I'm gonna leave a link for the items I've featured in today, and you can definitely shop these items. But this one feels so high end. It almost has a boucle kind of feeling to it. It's gorgeous. And I love to soften my space with throws. I think that adds that sort of approachable feeling to a space, and it makes it feel luxurious, not only in the way that it looks, but also in the way that it feels. IKEA is an incredible resource for all budgets, and I go back to it over and over and over again, and it's a little bit of a love affair, I suppose. For me, it reminds me of living in Scandinavia. It makes me really happy. I love the entire experience of being able to see everything put together in the spaces, and I think it's just an absolute blast. And of course, I love saving money. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I've had a lot of fun sharing some of my favorite tips and tricks for creating that elevated look with IKEA, and give me a thumbs up if you think that I've shown you that it is possible. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. Yes, IKEA is a great place to shop for a designer look, and cheers, you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we are actually going to be taking you to Scandinavia in the next couple weeks, and we're going to be exploring Scandinavian design and that cozy, how do they do that hygge, that cozy factor that they nail so well. We're gonna be exploring it together and sharing everything with you, so we don't want you to miss out. So until then, cheers. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.